Frank Reich dispelled the narrative that he is a big quarterback-only type of head coach yesterday, even pointing out that he's been a strong proponent of Russell Wilson pre-draft process. With Bryce Young being the top quarterback prospect in this year's class at 5'10", the question is, which route should Carolina go? Should they go with the high floor quarterback and CJ Stroud out of Ohio State that probably has a more limited ceiling? Bryce Young, the tantalizing 5'10" QB? Or the mystery box and Anthony Richardson, who Frank Reich labeled as scream of the top type of draft pick when watching his film. Justin, you are a Florida fan, so I want to start with you yet again. Do you think Anthony Richardson has a safe enough floor to be taken number one, or should they go the more traditional route?
That is so risky. That is so risky. You go out there. I mean, look at the Jets just a couple of years ago taking Zach Wilson so early in the draft. They're sitting there regretting that. You don't go out. You don't want to miss with this pick. This isn't a pick that you're taking a risk on. You want to take somebody that you absolutely surefire all in on. A guy like Anthony Richardson, and while as talented as can be, he has all the physical tools, can throw the crap out of a football, and probably can run through your face too if he's running down the seam. But to take him number one overall is just, it absolutely baffles me. This isn't the NBA where Kyrie Irving barely played. He barely played his first year in college, and then he gets through and he's the number one overall pick. This isn't and the NBA. This isn't like that. You need that sample size. So I mean, sure, if he falls into the 20s and somebody's willing to take that risk, that's fine. But to take him number one overall, you traded up for this pick. You should have traded up for this pick already knowing damn well who you're taking, in my opinion. A guy like CJ Stroud, who's probably the best pocket passer amongst the big three of quarterbacks, that might be your best bet with the receivers that you just acquired too. And he can move. Or you get a Bryce Young who has proven that he can play on the biggest stages. But you go and risk that number one overall pick to bring in a guy like Anthony Richardson. And again, like I said, the talent oozes off of him. But at the end of the day, that's such a risky move because if you don't develop that quarterback, then you're just in the same place you were last year. You're gonna have the same thing where you have a bunch of quarterbacks that aren't gonna take you anywhere, but they're just placeholders, and you don't want to have that.
And now
I
you wouldn't have your first round pick.
Yeah. So I think this Anthony Richardson should not be the number one overall pick, and this is not me hating on him. Like I said, I can say it till I'm blue in the face. He's extremely talented, but that's too risky for me to take with a number one overall pick when there are surefire prospects in this draft. And while none of these quarterbacks, I'd say for certain, are surefire, um, there are other players that are. But the only thing is, the Panthers need a QB, so you have to take one. But I wouldn't be taking Anthony Richardson. I'd be taking one of the two that have been playing football games and have shown you that they could win against big teams in big moments.
So which one is it?
Oof. I'm taking Stroud. I'm taking Stroud. Like I said, he's a pure pocket passer. He's not pure, but the better pocket passer amongst them. You got receivers now in Chark and Thielen. You bring in Miles Sanders. It's a revamped offense. I think you bring in a guy that can lead you. And Frank Reich has shown that he can work with these pocket passers in the past. Take Stroud, you'll be fine. And I'm also saying that because I want Bryce Young in Houston.
I think it's pretty much been confirmed it's going to be CJ Stroud. I don't know if you guys saw the video that was caught with him and Stroud and McCown talking, and I think they were talking about pickup basketball, like, oh, we should play more. Stroud said to him, and McCown said back, yeah, we will when you're in Carolina. You know, caught like, yeah, basically under the breath, like kind of, and it was caught on the video. You can look that up. So I think it's I think they're taking CJ Stroud. Like Justin said, listen, I mean, he didn't say this word, but I think he's the prototypical quarterback. He's the most prototypical quarterback in the class right now, I think. 6'4", big body. What is he, 230, you guys think? 225?
Stroud?
Yeah.
He's not 230, 6'4". I think he's 6'3", 6'2". 225
6'3"?
probably.
Really? Well, I thought he was bigger than that. I thought he was 6'4". But Yeah, no, listen, I think they're taking CJ Stroud. That's really it. I think Anthony Richardson is going to the Colts, who I think are taking, what are they, the fourth overall or third overall? The Colts, I think they're
Fourth.
fourth. All right, so yeah, that's how. So I go first is Stroud. I think is going. Then two is Houston, right? I think they're taking
Bryce Young.
Young, and then four is going AR-15. Oh,
I
sorry,
don't want a
Anthony Richardson.
prototypical quarterback with the first overall pick. I want something special. CJ Stroud is Jared Goff to me with a little bit more athleticism. Do I want that in the first overall pick? I'll take it. I'll be cool with it. But after 4 years, I'm not going to be satisfied. And I think for Carolina, a team that has.
Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl.
He's not a top 10 quarterback, Justin. He's a first overall pick.
Okay, but after the year you just saw from Jared Goff, okay?
I said to myself, he's a bridge quarterback. That's what I said.
After this past season, you're like, okay.
Hell
this
yeah. I'm
guy's
sorry,
just a
Lion
bridge
fans. That's what
quarterback.
I see. I see he's the 16th to 12th best quarterback in the NFL. That's a quarterback I like to use as a bridge to a younger quarterback with a lot more upside.
Fair, Justin. Come on, that's fair. That we all.
I'm just saying, okay. I know
Listen,
he's about
Justin,
to go and
John's
drop
the same guy that said Alex Smith isn't a bust, be a #1 overall. Jared Goff accomplished more than what Alex Smith did.
Okay. I thought John was gonna spark a debate there.
No, he's not, no, because he knows that's true. Go ahead, Justin.
Continue, John. Continue.
CJ Stroud is the most safe quarterback in this draft. But to me, this was not the class to trade up for a quarterback.
No.
Bryce Young is the best quarterback out of these three, but he looks like a crash course dummy sometimes getting hit at 5'10". And Anthony Richardson has so much upside, but you've invested so much of your future into this #1 overall pick. Now, the good news in Carolina is that they're building one hell of a defense. They have a lot of personnel on offense, especially on the offensive line where they invested a lot into it the last couple of years. But man, I feel like next year for Carolina was the right season. And because of Frank Reich's nightmares of not having a quarterback in Indianapolis, he didn't want to have 1 year of no quarterback in Carolina. He couldn't do that 1 year. And I think that long term really could cost the Panthers. In the short term, you'll be fine taking CJ Stroud. I think he could probably win Rookie of the Year. I just don't see a lot of special traits with him outside of structure, extending plays, and especially at Ohio State where he's had all the talent in the world. I mean, it's not going to be that way in the NFL. So I think he'll be good. I think he'll be maybe just like Jared Goff, the 16th to 10th best quarterback in the NFL. But I think to win a Super Bowl, CJ Stroud's always going to be an above average quarterback and not much more.
Well, so who do you want? You want Anthony Richardson then? You think they should take Anthony Richardson?
This is a lazy thing to say. I want to not trade for the first overall pick in the 2023 draft. That's what I want.
Yeah, okay. That we all agree. Yes, we all agree with that. We all agree with that. But now they're in the place. Me and Justin answer the question. You put the fire under your ass.
I'm taking Bryce Young at this pick. I'm taking the best quarterback out of the three that actually had worse talent in Alabama. Bill O'Brien, he's a good coach. He didn't do a great job in his 1 year with Bryce. I think Bryce has the highest floor, honestly, if he can stay healthy. And it's just a matter of what you value as a team. And I think Frank Reich here, he's going to go with CJ Stroud. But I think, honestly, well, he may win Rookie of the Year. He may be put in a better position in Carolina than Bryce Young in Houston. I think Bryce Young is just simply the quarterback that's worthy of a #1 overall pick. CJ Stroud to me is not a top #1 pick. That's the way I look at him.
You think
top
Bryce
10
Young,
pick, not top 1.
You think Bryce Young can be a top 10 quarterback in the league?
I do. I think his ability to create out of structure is unbelievable. He's slippery.
What's his ceiling?
His ceiling?
Is he as athletic as Kyler Murray,
No,
would you say?
He's not as athletic as Kyler, and he doesn't have the arm of Russell Wilson.
Does he have a higher ceiling than either of those guys, Wilson or Kyler Murray?
I'm talking out of my ass if I said yeah. Maybe.
And I don't think you think he's a top 10 quarterback.
I think Kyler's a top 10 quarterback, and I think
No,
Russ was a top 5 quarterback.
Bryce Young. I don't think you think. What I'm saying is, it's the way you answer those questions.
do.
You're talking yourself into. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. His ceiling can be top 10.
I do.
I just when the second words out of your mouth, John, are I'm taking Bryce Young, and if he can stay healthy, I instantly go, nah, I can't do that. #1 overall pick. Nope, I don't want that attached to it. No, cannot do that, man. Can't. That's why I do think I think, again, I agree with you. They should never traded for the first overall pick, but I think they're going CJ Stroud. And I agree it's the safest pick. It's kind of like Mac Jones. I think he's the most ready right now, but yeah.
And John, you're absolutely right. If this was not the draft to be trading up for a quarterback, absolutely. I attacked you there first because I thought you were going to go and say Anthony Richardson for the first pick. I get what you mean about you want somebody special, and nobody amongst these QBs jump out at you. And you know what? It's early. You never know. These kids can prove us wrong. CJ Stroud can be an absolute stud in the NFL, and so can Bryce Young, and so can AR-15. But as of right now, there's I guess that's the thing about the NFL draft. It's high risk, high reward, I guess. You gotta shoot, for the sky on this one. Who knows what they get?
I want to read off to you the receivers that CJ Stroud has had at Ohio State. Garrett Wilson, an NFL superstar, first round pick. Chris Olave, first round pick. Marvin Harrison, who as a freshman didn't even play because
he's going to be a top 5 pick.
He's going to be a top 5 pick probably. NFL scouts are looking at him as that's the card that we all want, but you know it's not going to be available to next year. We're just there to watch it through the window. Then you have Jackson Smith and Jigma, who's also a first round pick in the slot. That's 4 different receivers all in the first round. You have Trayvon Henderson, who's going to be a top running back next year. You have Emeka Ibuka.
When I was saying this about Alabama quarterbacks, you were telling me you can't do that with the college quarterbacks.
It's John smile.
I didn't say that. I said that if you're going to have that as the main reason why Diski went to Alabama and Alabama quarterbacks don't work out, they're not going to draft one, it's lazy. That's lazy. If you're just going to say, oh, you went to Alabama, I don't think you're going to work out in the NFL. That's lazy. That's what you did.
It was not the main
saying it shouldn't solely be that, but it is important to note the guy had 5 first-round receivers he was getting to play alongside in the last 2 years. So that's why C.J. Stroud's production's going to look great. And you know what's going to happen? I think C.J. Stroud's first couple of years in Carolina will play really well. I'm pretty confident he can win Rookie of the Year. He'll be one of the top quarterbacks, maybe on a rookie contract, lead them to the playoffs. But in 5 or 6 years, that's when I want to come back to this. That's one. Because I think if Bryce Young can stay healthy, he'll be a clearly better quarterback than C.J. Stroud. That's the way I feel about this. Mainly because of his ability to create out of structure and that playmaking aspect that in today's NFL is something you can't teach. C.J. Stroud, to me, may be typical. And a typical quarterback is not what I'm taking number 1.
Are any of these quarterbacks better than Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who?
The first 2.
Okay.
And even Anthony Richardson is a better prospect. And maybe Hendon Hooker.